Today, during episode 180 of Look What Jess Found, Look What Jess Found. Usually, after I do the long video, right, the penny roll hunt, right, which is between 25 minutes and 2 hours, then I'll do shorts, right? In today's penny roll hunt, we did 2 penny rolls. The video was over an hour long, and I lumped these 4 pennies together because all 4 of them have die clashes. So instead of doing 4 short die clash videos, right? Here's a die clash from episode 180. Here's another die clash from episode 180. Here's another die clash from episode 180. Here's another die. So instead of doing that, let's look at the 4 die clashes in this one video. I have them in no particular order. For those of you who don't know, most of you probably do. For those of you who do not know what a die clash is, it is a mint error. And typically, as I understand it, right, there are 2 dies, the one on the top and the one on the bottom. And then there's a blank, we'll call it a blank penny, right? All right. So the technical term is the hammer die, the anvil die, and the planchet, right? The difference between a blank and a planchet is the blank, after it's punched out of the sheet metal, then needs to be annealed. What's that? That is heat treated for strength. That's why sometimes copper pennies are very dark, even red, have different colors, because the copper dust gets on the penny, and when it's heat treated, that copper dust changes the color of the surface of the penny, and that's why it's called an annealed or sintered error. These, I think, are all zinc. Is this one zinc? Except for this one. That one's copper. So, the hammer die and the anvil hit the planchet, the finished blank, and the images on the dies form the penny. But how about if there's no, what happens if there's no planchet in between? Now, believe it or not, they're really not supposed to hit each other. They are designed, the machine is designed for a very slight space in between the hammer die and the anvil die that they're not supposed to hit, even if there's no planchet there. But sometimes they do hit. For whatever reason, you're talking about microscopic calibrations. So if they do happen to hit each other, you're talking about hardened stainless steel hitting each other, they're going to leave impressions of each other on each other. And then when the next planchet comes through and they hit each other, it will leave that error on the penny. That is the long explanation of typical die clash. Conventional, typical, ordinary, stereotypical, whatever you want to call it. All right. So here we got 4 pennies that I have identified as having die clashes. Now, with the Lincoln Memorial, which all 3 of these are, the die clash is most noticeable in the columns. Now, the spaces in between the columns, people call bays. B-A-Y-S. And it goes from left to right. Bay 1, Bay 2, Bay 3, Bay 4. Now, I'm not an expert on die clashes, or I'm not an expert on anything. Well, I'm an expert on some things, but not when it comes to coins. I would what you might call an amateur, which for 99% of people who just start coin roll hunting, that will take you about 10 years to become an amateur if you are just regularly going through penny rolls. If you spend a lot of time, you can get to probably amateur level in about 6 months or a year. I mean, a lot of time. I'm talking about every day coin roll hunting. Maybe in about 6 months or a year, you'll become amateur level. But for most beginners, they they don't really put that much time into it. And videos like this tend to be very helpful to the novice. All right, so where is the strike through in this video, in this penny? You can see it in between the first, second, and third bay. I think it's also I don't know. I can't remember all the numbers or how many there are. It looks like there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like there's 11. So also in, I guess, 9, 10, and 11, and a lot of them, maybe almost all of them, you can see it. So this penny's a little dirty, so it's kind of difficult for me through the camera to identify exactly what the image is. It's supposed to be this, right? This image somehow is in there. Typically, that's what it is. So you can see the little marks in the bay, and that's a die clash. Oh, that looks pretty. That looks pretty cool right there. Let's zoom in a bit. Now, what it is exactly, I don't know. I mean, that looks really weird to me. What is that? Is that the letters? I'm not sure what that is. Is it from a different coin? Honestly, I have no idea. It's not, for me right now, that's not strong enough, and I don't have enough experience to identify exactly what that is from from the reverse. I'm saying, I don't know. All right, but that's one. Here's the next one. Now this one's a little bit more obvious, right? Because this is how they usually look in the first 4 bays. You have that, and I think that is the it's something. Could be his face. I think it's his face. See the nose right there? I think that's what it is. I think that's it. Could also be the could be that. But I'm imagining it's right there in the middle, because usually on the other side you'll see the columns, right? With the bays, you'll see it on the other side. But on this one, for some reason, it's either not there, or they changed the die, right? They changed the hammer. If they change, or they polished the hammer, or they fixed the hammer, or whatever, and it's not there anymore. But they did not fix the anvil. And again, that's how it usually looks, right there. How common is it? It's pretty common. I find a lot of these. You might find one per roll, or one per 2 rolls, or 3 rolls, or 5 rolls, especially with zincs. Especially with zincs. There it is. No, that's the little Lincoln. Maybe this one doesn't have a die clash. I thought it did. Oh, there it is. In the bays to the right of Lincoln. I'm going to look at that under the loop again. I mean, again, pretty weak, especially in this one. You know, I'm actually going to say, I don't know if this one's a die clash. So that just to show you how easy it is to make a mistake on a die clash. See, this penny here has so much blistering. It's a nice 82 zinc, right? You know it's zinc because of the blisters. So that could just be the blistering giving a illusion of a die clash. So let's say this one is not a die clash. It is a cool 82 zinc, though. I'll put that with my other 82s. And here's the last one. Oh, here goes the other one. This one's bagged. Has a bag mark on it also. I was looking for this penny. Very, I don't want to say very rare for bag marks on pennies. But they're typically, you'll see those three little marks. For some reason, it's always three. Usually three. Sometimes it's two, but it's usually three. So this is another one. And I might have put this one to the side because of the bag marks. But in the bay over here by the stairs, that might be a die clash type of a image. So again, another good example of how easy it is to mistake a die clash for a different type of error. So what I'm going to say is, as far as this one goes, we have two confirmed die clashes. And that's this one, and that's the stereotypical. That's the most common. Lincoln Memorial die clash looks like this on a copper or zinc cent. But every once in a while, you will find one with different things going on in it. And those are the ones that are the most curious. This one's kind of dirty, but it does have obvious features of a die clash. You can see it, yeah, again, right there. It almost looks like another Lincoln column to me. I'm going to look at that under the loop again. No. It has these little marks going up and down. What is that? Is that letters? I don't think it's letters. Is it Liberty? Is it IN? I want to make sure. I'm going to tell you what I think this is. A die clash is when they hit each other, right? But I think that another penny fell in between the die and the hammer. A made penny, right? And it moved. So the hammer hit the back of another penny, and that is the back. And there's a name for that type of die clash. I'm actually going to put this on a piece of paper because unless somebody, you could, if you have a different, if you know what it is, let me know in the in the comments below. But that's what because that's not the front of the penny. That looks like the columns of the Lincoln Memorial. So I think that is still considered. So I don't know if that's a strike through or not. Which, of course, the big question becomes, how come if the hammer, right, hit another penny to the point where see if I put light on, will it make a difference? No, it actually loses contrast. Remember if I do that? Oh yeah, you can see it there. Maybe you can see it better. No. So the question becomes, if the hammer, excuse me, oh, it's the anvil. It's the bottom. It's the anvil. If the anvil got damaged from another penny, how come the hammer didn't? Or did it? Look at that. Let me look at that under the loop. Well, if it did, it's very weak. If it did, it's very weak. So possibly there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's there. It's there. It's weak. Believe it or not, I can't see it under the loop, but I can see it here. So this is why you really have to pay attention, because I'm pretty sure this is like a strike through die clash. It's a die error. And anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. It was a very long-winded explanation about die clashes. And this one, it actually ended with a very interesting review of this era. And that's what I try to do when I find something interesting. Please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.